We've already seen multiple rumors that indicate that the pre-order sales for Dragon Age the Veilguard are not doing so well. Well, an inside source, a retail source, has informed me that they are way worse than what we initially expected. In fact, the source tells me that the latest Zelda game from Nintendo, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, is actually outsold Dragon Age the Veilguard in pre-orders 20-1 before the game actually released earlier last week. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. I roll this up over at thatparkplace.com. And yes, indeed, my source tells me that Zelda Echoes of Wisdom has outsold Dragon Age the Veilguard 20-1. So just to provide some context, it was previously rumored that Zelda Echoes of Wisdom outsold Dragon Age the Veilguard by about 4-1. That rumor came from Craig Skistamas, who owns and hosts the Side Scrollers podcast YouTube channel. He shared that his retail source, who manages over 900 stores, informed him that Dragon Age the Veilguard only had 1,069 pre-orders in total, while Zelda Echoes of Wisdom had over 4,400 in just the past 2 weeks. He wrote this back in, when did he say that? Back in on September 20th. He says, FYI, my retail insider says Dragon Age the Veilguard has 1,069 pre-orders total in their 900 plus stores. To put in perspective, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom has had over 4,400 in the last 2 weeks. So obviously, he was comparing total pre-orders for Dragon Age the Veilguard to just pre-orders in the past 2 weeks for Zelda Echoes of Wisdom on September 20th. Well, I got some more information from my own retail source. They indicate that Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, again, did around 4,400 in just 2 weeks. But in total, the game's pre-orders were closer to 20,000. 20,000. Because remember, 4,400 was just 2 weeks, but the total pre-orders was closer to 20,000. That means the game has sold nearly 20 times more than Dragon Age the Veilguard. And again, we're just looking at pre-orders for Zelda Echoes of Wisdom compared to Dragon Age the Veilguard. Furthermore, this source shared that Zelda Echoes of Wisdom actually sold out after it was released, and that Nintendo is very pleased with the game's sales and sees it as, quote, better than expected. And this, I think, does match up to what we are seeing from some of the industry charts. If we look over at the UK sales chart that is provided by, I think Nintendo Life is the one who usually publishes that. The game came in second in its debut week over there in the UK, just behind EA Sports FC 25. We had games industry head Christopher Drink commenting, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom debuts at number 2 in the UK physical charts this week. Nintendo doesn't share digital data, sadly. Launch sales are 14% lower than 2019's Link's Awakening remake. I suspect in reality it's pretty close sales-wise between the two. So if that is indeed the case, looks like they have a hit on their hand. Remember that remake, I think, is from like a game that was released back in like 1993. But Nintendo did report in their fiscal year ended March 2021 financial results report that the 2019 game had lifetime sales of 5.49 million copies globally. And again, that was about 2 years after it released. Talking about March 2021. I think the game released September 2019. So a little around 2 years, maybe a year and a half after it released, it had almost sold 5.5 million copies globally. The game sold over 500,000 copies in its first 3 days in just Japan and Europe combined. German website 4Players reported in October 2019 that the game sold 430,000 copies in 72 hours in Europe, while Famitsu reported the game sold 141,375 physical copies in Japan. By December 2019, which is about a month, the game was out for a month from the end of September through October. So December 2019, Famitsu reported that physical copies in Japan had reached 250,947 sold. So did very well for Nintendo. And if we're seeing similar numbers for Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, looks like it is doing really well. And it does look like that is the case. Obviously, we're already seeing over 20,000 pre-ordered from my retailer. And then on top of that, they sold out of the extra copies that they had ordered that they were carrying in the store. So they're probably trying to get some more of those copies in the store to sell to customers and meet their demand for this game, because people are clearly wanting to play it. So looking really, really good for Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. That is not the case for Dragon Age, the Veilguard. If we look at some of their past sales in the series, IGN reported in February 2010 that Dragon Age Origins shipped 3.2 million copies in its first 3 months. We're looking at maybe 1,000 copies pre-ordered across those like 900 stores. Not looking like it will hit that 3.2 million copies in its first 3 months. We might be seeing something similar to Star Wars Outlaws. Again, we have a report that came out earlier I guess it was late last night, where they said that it was just about 1 million copies in its first month. Not good. Not good at all, especially when they were expecting around 5 million. And I think Dragon Age, the Veilguard, I think BioWare is indeed expecting significant sales for this game, similar to what Star Wars Outlaws was expecting, what Ubisoft was expecting from Star Wars Outlaws. Because Dragon Age Inquisition executive producer Mark Dara shared just in the middle of September that the game had sold over 12 million units and had massively oversold the internal EA projections back when it was released in 2014. Again, over 12 million copies in about a decade. My guess is it sold the majority of those in probably its first year or so, first couple of months. It's usually when you see the bulk of sales, again, usually at the beginning of a game's life cycle. So I think we can expect that BioWare, EA are expecting big numbers for this, and the pre-orders just do not seem to be adding up to that. We can also kind of look at what we've seen from the PlayStation Store. You can see I took this screenshot on September 20th, so I don't know, about a little less than 2 weeks ago, and you can see that it's right here in, what is that, 11th place, just like 4 spots ahead of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and that's their deluxe edition. You go down here, you go into what, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17th position here for the base game. It's about 4 spots ahead of Shadows base game. Remember, they postponed Shadows because the pre-orders were likely not that good, to give them more time to kind of polish the game and hopefully increase their sales. Don't think that's going to happen, but you can kind of see it's in a similar position to Shadows on the PlayStation Store. We can also look at the SteamDB's most wishlisted upcoming Steam games. If we want to hop over there, let's do that real quick. You can see right here, this is their game. If we type in Dragon Age right here, we will see that it is 31st on SteamDB's most wishlisted upcoming Steam games. Has just shy of, or it doesn't, not even just shy, just 63,393 followers. If we click on the game, we click on the charts here, we can also see, we scroll down here, that it is now 74th in top sellers. Somehow it has increased 10 positions since I published this, because when I did publish it, it was 84th in top sellers. That obviously has now changed. So maybe a couple people bought or pre-ordered the game, but it still isn't doing that well. Even 74th still is not that good here. 31 still on a wish listing there. So still, I mean, if we want to look at the, I don't know if we can see that top sellers chart. I'm not sure how you click through to that, but I think Dragon Ball is probably at the top, Sparking Zero. And that game is an upcoming game. And I think that's probably one of the top selling games. And again, those are primarily from pre-orders as well. So gives you a little bit of a comparison point there. Let's actually just show you that. We'll just type in Dragon Ball just so you guys can see that. There it is. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. We can see here that it is indeed at the top of SteamDB's top sellers list, number 3. And again, this game has not released yet. It comes out on just about a week on October 10th. So you know that it still is in the pre-order section and it's number 3, whereas Dragon Age is down there in the 70th spot. So not looking good for that game. And then we also had a previous rumor from Dr. Disaster where he said that his own retail insider informed him that the sales for the game were piss poor. This is what he said. He says, I have an acquaintance in the retail world, someone who runs 9 stores that sells video games, and I'm hearing that these ratios that we're seeing in damn near every video release for Dragon Age the Veilguard, these ratios are correlating with piss poor pre-sales data. People are not connecting with the Veilguard because Dragon Age games are supposed to be dark and gritty, and this just looks completely soft. So he had indicated that pre-orders were not going good for this game as well. And that's what we're seeing. All these indications, all these rumors are pointing to that. All of the data indicating that pre-orders for Dragon Age: The Veilguard do not look good. There does not look like there is very good positive sentiment about this game. And people just are not interested in all of the woke ideology that is being injected into it, whether that is top scars, whether that is pansexual companions, whether that is the game director and the creative director virtue signaling about how inherently queer the game is. People do not like this stuff. They do not want that. And they are seemingly not going to be purchasing it. But let me know what you guys make of this. What do you make of this insider informing me that Zelda Echoes of Wisdom had 20-1 in regards to physical pre-orders? I mean, that's just absolutely bonkers. 20,000 pre-orders for Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, a retail location, compared to just over 1,000 for Dragon Age: The Veilguard at numerous retail locations in a highly populated area. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, but to always speak the truth.